make it clear that your wife's appointment with me has nothing to do with the rumors of your lackluster performance in the bedroom.
Oh, in front of everyone. Quick comment before I start. I love this woman protects woman in this chapter in general. Women stand for women. I love it. Like, she helped her once, dude. Once. And she was ready to help her. Kakania is okay. More than okay, actually. Very okay person. Yeah, I forgot to say. So, when the duel started, it was a little small, so I didn't know if I should record it or not. Kakania said that she was helping Marcus because Marcus helped her. Like, you saved my life, I saved yours. And then a kid showed up on the street that Kakania knew. And the boy offered her a magical mustache, which she bought from the kid, put it on Marcus, and after, you know, fighting the gods, we left. But that's another thing that is very interesting in my opinion, that Kakania actually knows the kids on the street. Like, how do you know? But then again, we were told she's an activist, so maybe she has helped a lot of people behind the scenes, and that's how she knows. We'll see. Part 8. Mirror and Lantern. You and I met, and the room was aglow with light.
Kakania! This way! Over here!
That's the kid I was talking about.
Elite! Thanks a lot. The prop sure came in handy.
Oh, okay. Ignore my comment then. It's not a kid that's on the street. If he got props, he probably works in the opera, so it makes sense for Kakania to know him. Kakania tears off her fake beard, fanning herself with her hand.
Finally. Why do I keep having things stick to my lips?
Ha! Be careful with that. It is no ordinary beard. Every single strand was soaked in a Bohemian potion, mixed with bloodroot, toad's heart, and Yavangal.
Now, you know what? I take it back once again. It appears he's a street boy, because I see his clothes, he couldn't have possibly not be, I think. Too presumptuous of me, I guess. But yeah, he's selling props. Now, how he got those props is another story, I'm guessing.
Why were the gods after you?
That's a long story. And oh, don't worry about this kind little lady. She saved my life, and she's a third of a friend.
Third of a friend?
A third of?
She discreetly releases the button of the communicator in her pocket.
This is bad. The connection is down. I can't get in touch with Madame Hoffman. She's probably in an important conversation with the field agent squad and has calls on block. It's okay, Marcus. You can do this yourself. Just stay in the conversation. Communication is not that hard. You've done this through before. You can do it.
Despite having written about 1,000 ways to start a conversation, she never expected to find herself in a situation like this. Marcus frantically racks her mind for topics to discuss. Fortunately, everyone present is far more talkative than she is.
My, Kakania. Are you friends with the government officials now? Times have changed indeed. I've been here for a whole year, but I've never seen an official without a beard. Where are you from? Croatia? Moravia? Galicia?
I grew up in Romania.
Oh, I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina. That makes us friends, since we're both from somewhere near.
Be careful on the streets these days, Ilich. You could be in trouble too if the gods catch you. After all, you haven't got a license.
So perhaps, yeah, I think it has to do with her activism. Because a lot of people don't have license in this place, it appears, not just Arcanist. Unless the kid is an Arcanist as well. But yeah, I guess who gets a license or not is some sort of green card equivalent. Like, for example, if you're from another country, you have to have specific qualifications in order to get the license. That's what I'm guessing.
Huh? You don't?
Oh, of course not. Have you read the requirements? Records of the safe use of arcane skills within 3 generations. I was born in the streets. I don't even know who my grandmother was.
Oh, okay, he is an Arcanist.
And the records aren't the hard part to get around. If you're applying in Vienna, the license has to be issued by the central government. It's not an Austrian problem, nor a Hungarian problem. The central government sits in the middle, and no official has any idea of what's what. Should this be the Kaiser's concern? Or the König's? Or both? You'd be the biggest fool to listen and follow these broken rules. Stuck in the system, nowhere to go. Unless you work the magic of crowns.
What happens if we don't have an Arcanum license?
Oh, you'll love this. Who knows, you could get 3 days in detention, or maybe 10 years in prison. Even if you are sentenced to prison, they might forget to bring you in.
Oh.
Or, if you're an outstanding citizen who can shed your Arcanum during your human re-education, you might get to have a nice life. Without a license, that is.
Yeah, so the license is only for Arcanists, just like it was said in the beginning. My theory.
Our justice system is much more unpredictable than the Arcanists. We still have a fair chance of getting away.
Very informative, Irich.
Kakania clears the throat, still somewhat guarded, and flashes out a meaningful glance.
Oh, well then. Bis später, Kakania and Miss Foundation. Forget I said anything?
They are...
Some Arcanist kids on the streets. I'm surprised you know nothing about them. The country has changed, lady, and not everything in Vienna is as decent and sumptuous as the buildings on Ringstrasse and Herrengasse.
Her tone belies a hint of sarcasm.
I'm thankful for your help, Miss Foundation, but so far I have returned the favor. You don't want the gods either, do you? We're even. So, can you tell me why you're here? Oh, I see. Mr. Carl sent you, didn't he? Because I don't have a psychiatrist license. Can't you people give me a break? I swear on my ancestors, I'm doing this entirely the Arcanist way. It has nothing to do with human science.
She poses a question but leaves no room for an answer. Leaning closer to Marcus, she pushes her glasses up with suspicion.
Don't you people ever sleep? Do you not have a life? This is the 10th time this month, even got rest after working 6 days in a row. I have an Arcanum license inherited from my family. It is nothing to be ashamed of. My fees are reasonable. No one's ever complained.
No, Miss Kakania, this is really coincidental. I just happen to know that you are a psychiatrist.
Huh? So? Are psychiatrists considered doctors now?
Maintaining her barriers of politeness against the rapid topic changes feel like holding a smile in a hailstorm. On the verge of tears, Marcus desperately falls back to the field mission manual.
I think there's been a misunderstanding. Wait, I'm not here to check your credentials.
Then what?
So you call yourself Kakania, but I know your first name is Clara.
Oh, I didn't know the Foundation staff reads my work. How very flattering. Yes, I'm Clara. But Miss Foundation, don't you think Kakania is an intriguing name? Heinrich, who's a friend of mine, gave me a book which greatly inspired me. Our country is just like that name. It both is and isn't. It both has and has not. If you look for it, it can't be found. Yet if you stop looking, it's everywhere. Look at this country, my friend. The sumptuous buildings rise so high that the people in power never have to lay eyes on the rye farmers of Bohemia, the immigrants from the east coast of the Adriatic Sea, or on the Arcanists. How could there possibly be smog choking the industrial area? How could there possibly be cold houses in the winter? The cafe house is definitely filled with people who love to dance, and not with those who can't afford the heat. Oh no. Surely there's no bureaucracy, no discrimination, no poverty here. This is a city of humanism and freedom. Oh yes. Kakania, Kaiserlich Königlich, or Kaiserlich Unköniglich. And Kakania, the land. There's no better name for this country.
So then, you did get that book from a friend. Now's my chance. I still have one spider tail Madame Hoffman left me. If I can find a chance to leave the spider tail on her, or in her place.
The young assistant takes a deep breath.
I'm intrigued by the book. Can I see it?
This concludes the report. report by Semmelweis of the Field Agent Administration. Please confirm, Madam Hoffman.
Eee, Semmelweis. In the corner, Hoffman holds her communicator out with a brow furrowed.
Yes. Report received.
Why so serious, Greta? That was just routine.
And I envy your lightheartedness and optimism. They got you out of Vienna on such short notice. I can only imagine that must have been difficult for you as well. According to your intel, the Empire's had too many assassinations in a short period of time. This is not good for the critical point, Semmelweis.
At least try to stay in a good mood. What else can we do? Aside from that, Greta, I have more to tell you. I was pulled out of Vienna overnight, and I didn't have time to brief the new squad there. You know it takes ages to get through the briefing process. I might as well just tell you now, personally. There could be an arcanist who has crossed the storm, and is now in Vienna.
Huh.
What did you say? Do we know more about this arcanist?
We only know his name is Heinrich. We learned about this from the Berlin squad when we met up here, but had no time to verify.
I see. Leave the rest to us.
It's true. He traveled to Berlin during the Sixth Storm and survived the 1913 storms there. And after the 1966 storm and the one in 1929...
And now it's 1913 for the second time. For all the arcanists who crossed the Sixth Storm. This is exciting news.
The time has returned.
This is interesting. I heard from fans, but I never got how they got this information, but they were basically saying that the storm that happens in every place affects the time differently in each place. For example, let's say that there was a storm in United Kingdom and turns from 1999 to 1950, let's say. And there's another storm the same year that takes it back to 1910. And then there's a storm in Germany that takes people from 1999 to 1949. But there's a whole year without storms. That means that the United Kingdom remains in 1910s, whereas Germany has actually progressed to 1951 without problems. They lived the whole 1950 year unscathed. So yeah, it's like that. Every single country in the world of 1999 seems to be affected at different time periods from the storm and taken to different timelines. So right now, I don't think there's a stable timeline anywhere in the world, from what I've understood. However, that now results to this, which I hadn't personally thought of, but if Vertin isn't the only person that is able to survive the storms because either they found a shelter or they happen to be immune to it themselves, or they are with Manus Vindicta and they have the masks so they're immune, that means that if they go to another country that has yet to experience the years that person's previous country experienced, they can relive that era. I don't know if I'm making sense. It makes sense in my head, but yeah, apparently this is possible. So on one hand, I think this is nice for people who want to re-experience their own era that they lost because of the storm. But I'm also thinking, what if that helps us, gives us the opportunity to change things, you know? I'm talking specifically about the situation with Schneider, because many fans wondered if we'll ever be able to have her back or whatnot, but if there is a chance to relive a timeline in a certain country, perhaps there's some place in this world that Schneider is still alive. And perhaps there is a way for us to find her and bring her back. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but the fact they give us this space to go back to certain timelines if we move to a different country makes me think that there are ways we can actually save people that died. Maybe even Sotheby can bring back her butler, you know, somehow. And you can say, oh, lady, that is unlikely though, because let's say that Germany returns to the time that both Schneider and Sotheby's butler were alive. How are they supposed to actually contact these people if they're no longer in the country that they reside? Like in the timeline, sure, they're alive, but they're not in the country. Well, in that case, I guess phones are a thing. Luckily for them, the timeline during which both Schneider and the butler existed does have phones, so if Sotheby remembers her phone number, then she'll be able to contact her butler on a phone. And there comes the paradox that I'm wondering. If in that timeline, in that other country, they were to call the people who are alive to that country, would they be able to come? For example, let's say Sotheby calls and the butler responds and she tells him, I want you to come to this country right now. And he makes to come. Will he be able to? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be that trespassing time and space in a way? I wonder if they've thought about it, the writers of the game, or if that's a plot hole. Because, hey, they're alive. In some countries, the people who died are alive. So if they were somehow summoned to this country, shouldn't they be able to show up? Like parallel universes in a way? Anyway, I'm overthinking this. But yeah, think about it.
I understand the excitement, but perhaps time in its chaotic fashion has inadvertently returned to the same year. I hear you, Semmelweis. This is valuable information. I'll let the...
Greta? Are you still there?
Sorry, I have to go. Something's wrong with the spider tail I left on Marcus. This is not her ritual. Something's happened.
I'm surprised, Miss Marcus. You know so much about Cicero. I thought the Foundation was nothing but bureaucrats and bookworms. Oh, have you been to the Secession Building? Did you like it? Shame that book isn't there.
Kakania finally finds the key.
Please, come in. Forgive the mess. I must say that it is at least more orderly than the administration of the Empire.
Thank you.
Oh. The room resembles a studio more than a clinic. The scene is scattered about with unfinished paintings, dried paints, stage props, and posters. And mirrors. Many, many mirrors.
These are stage props. Heinrich left them here. He certainly learned some useful things in Berlin. Make yourself comfortable. I'll get you some tea and look for the book.
Please don't bother, Miss Kakania. I won't stay long. I have to go back to the branch soon. I just need to confirm that you have that book with you
The clinic's curtains are tightly drawn, blocking out the day, yet her mirrors flash with light for a second. Oh no! Guys, I think Marcus just played herself. She thought she could trick Kakania by asking to see her book and leaving that spider thingy in her possession, but I think Kakania brought her there for a reason, so that she could see her intentions in the mirror.
Is this Kakania's arcane skill?
Marcus quickly recovers her eyes with her hands, stepping back towards the door. Kakania's cheerful voice rings from the other side.
Oh, Miss Foundation, it's okay. Just a little trick I use to ensure my personal safety. I usually even charge for this. Look into the mirror which reflects your inner world. This trick has been used by arcanists for thousands of years. When it was first used, the Roman Emperor still ruled this land. Speaking of which, Miss Foundation, how did you know that the pistol was tampered with? Your arcane skill?
Though it might only be some sort of trick psychology, the mirror's glare becomes increasingly blinding. For me too, because I have my lights off and it blinded the shit out of me.
Don't look at the mirror.
The investigator braces herself as she grips the lamp, ready for combat at a moment's notice. Kakania's tone remains gentle, as if soothing one of her patients.
I am curious. No need to be alarmed. I'll treat you gently.
Guess we're fighting her now. We'll see. Okay, I think this battle will tell us a few things about Marcus, so I started recording again. So basically, Kakania is telling her to look at the mirror, and Marcus is seeing memories from the orphanage in them.
They're only illusions, Marcus. Just break her arcane skill and get out. I'll do the only thing I can do. Read. I see her. She's behind these illusions, but which one is real?
And I'm left to do the hard work. Great. I got lucky. I found her with the first shot. Ha ha. But the shot was double, so now I don't know which one it was.
Focus. She can move through mirrors. Got to keep track of her.
This can't be luck. No, I need to be sure. I'd be disappointed were it a fluke.
Everything is a book. Everything can be read.
The middle one. Gotcha.
These reflections are merely distractions. I found it. The page of truth.
Oh, it's true. You saw through the illusions as you saw through the pistol. Oh, all right, enough of my tricks. What a pleasant surprise. How does your skill work? Let me see.
No! I'm out of here!
Ouch.
I won!
Now, to divide the spoils, or should I say, a reasonable reallocation of the profits?
Part 9. Between the doors. Of doorways and brushing shoulders.
The reflections she created were real enough, but not perfect. The reflections had neither shadows nor breath. Most importantly, they didn't have her passion and subtle movements. I read the truth from these details. She meant me no harm. Maybe it was just a little trick she was playing. But I...
That was...
She lunges towards Marcus, who reflectively withdraws her hand.
I knew it. Your arcane skill is incredibly unique. You can discover what's on the inside by observing what's on the outside. You are born to be a psychiatrist.
That's why she was interested.
Huh?
She clings tightly to Marcus's hand as if she's found a long-lost relative.
Look at you. You are so tiny. And they give you this big coat? How can they do this to a child? How about you quit the Foundation and be my assistant? Your perception would be invaluable in this line of work. After all, we search for truth from foggy memories and vague descriptions for a living.
Miss... the book?
Marcus attempts to withdraw her hand politely but stiffly. Kakania's enthusiasm remains unchanged.
Forget the book! A new academic field is opening its doors to you. Let's go inside. Oh dear, I forgot your tea.
Gosh, she's bubbling like a parrot. It's Madame Hoffman. Ma'am?
Marcus, the spider tail has shown me your direction. How did you get that far? What is that place? An arcane fluctuation?
I'm with the target, Miss Kakania, in her clinic. I'm safe. Investigation's going well, ma'am.
Stay where you are. I'm on my way. And take care of yourself. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that your supervisor? She sounds rather harsh. I do have to question the Foundation hiring underage children and all.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Just in time.
Marcus glances at the doctor, who is now lost in thought, lightly flicking her skirt. An almost invisible thread lands on the green fabric.
Well, actually, Madame Hoffman is very kind to me.
She lifts her head, trying to further divert the doctor's attention. Kakania remains unimpressed by her answer.
Well, you have seen it all for yourself. Me, my clinic, my arcane skill. I showed you everything. Have they cleared up your doubts, Miss Marcus?
Just one more question.
Please, go ahead.
About this circle.
Huh? Did you go through all this trouble just for that?
Kakania dramatically raises her hand, settling down into her soft chair.
You could have asked me earlier. I am the founder of the circle.
What?
Whoa, what?
Marcus nearly scolds herself with the hot tea as she brings it up to her lips.
You're awfully excited. Are you an admirer? Joking. It's just a little group a couple of friends started out of interest. Completely legal, nothing nefarious. We're committed to changing the Arcanist's current situation. More committed than the Foundation. There will be a non-profit exhibit soon, and all donations will help lower-class Arcanists get their license. Which should have been your responsibility.
Her words are sharply pointed, only to stop abruptly as she recalls the identity of the target.
Oh, sorry, I got carried away. I should persuade you to join us, not to take your current job.
Marcus shakes her head, feeling altogether fortunate now to not be involved in the disputes of this era.
And the painting in this exhibit will be the salvation?
That's right, you've been to the Secession building, and that's a masterpiece which would be hard to miss. That was Teofil's final piece of work, the Golden Isle being its subject.
She lowers her head a little while refilling her cup with fresh tea.
It was big news at the time. The island hidden from all people in the Aegean Sea, the ancient Arcanist settlement, the strange current and magnetic field around it, the animals only heard in stories, and a shadow of modern society cast upon it. Well, those are just hearsay. People have all kinds of speculations about it. A military base, a mystical kingdom, the apocalypse. The Foundation knows it better than any of us.
Kakania sits down the teacup, her focus calm but impassioned.
Miss Marcus, I've told you everything I know. If you trust me, please tell me one thing.
I'm sorry, Miss Kakania. I can't.
Are there really people on that island? If so, how did they protect themselves in these changing times?
I mean, couldn't they speculate that by themselves? Like, if for years, if there are Arcanists there, according to their theory, which is true as we know, couldn't they just guess that their survival after so long could be due to immunity of the island? I'm surprised they don't know, and only Foundation Arcanists know that there are places in the world that are immune to it. Because the Uluru Stadium, for example, it is a place where now everyone can enter, alright? I don't know, I find it a bit weird that, yeah, any outsider Arcanist that still looks into these things hasn't figured out there are actually places that are immune to the storm, so that they can understand why the island could be so as well.
This is my only question, as an Arcanist and as a human being. The arms companies are turning the Balkan Peninsula into a proving ground for their new weapons. That was how they discovered this island. You work for the authorities. You must know something. Please, I just want to know if there's any more of us in this world. Suffering, silenced, and helpless.
I don't think they're being silenced, and I don't think they're helpless. They are suffering, though, in my opinion. They just don't know. Kakania's passion dims over the prolonged silence.
Fine. You work for the Foundation, after all. I shouldn't have asked. It's just that I'm hoping for at least one rational person in such an irredeemable bureaucracy. Someone who doesn't think it's just a bunch of deranged lunatics over there. Which is a stigma the Arcanists have carried around for centuries.
I mean, yeah, but the Foundation also consists of Arcanists, so I don't think they're trying to stigmatize anyone in this situation. In general, yeah, I agree. They do stigmatize a lot, but in this case they were curious as well, that's why they sent Vert in there. I don't know. In general, for the Foundation is various sides to it. There are the asshole types and there are the good types, so...
No! We're not crazy!
She clenches the fabric of her dress, lifting her head in a trembling outburst.
I don't think the Arcanists on the island are crazy either.
Miss Marcus.
Dr. Kakania, I know there has been discord and resentment between humans and Arcanists, but not everyone is like Mr. Call. We're from the headquarters where many like you are fighting for the rights of Arcanists. When it comes to caring for our people, we're not so different there. That was what the Foundation was for, to defend the interests of the Arcanists and to keep the world safe and orderly. Till this day, we continue to strive for this goal.
Not all of you, honey. Her heart thumps hard in her chest. She shouldn't do this, but but she can't ignore the question any longer either. Perhaps it's worth it. Her reading tells her that this is a worthwhile ally. They've had no fundamental disagreements between one another. Just this one insignificant piece of information, if it might bridge the gap in their positions. Time stretches on.
My sympathies for all that is happening.
Marcus receives another embrace.
We could have been very good friends if you weren't working for the Foundation. I know you meant every word you said. I can see how you burned with passion. The Circle was founded for the same reason. But I will not change my view on certain things.
Well, if you work with Vertin, you won't have to change it.
But on second thought, I have friends working in all kinds of places. We have a big house, plenty of wine and refreshments. There is more than enough room for a new friend. I would like to invite you to the Secession building, and to be present at the opening of the exhibit, Miss Marcus. And we can talk more about what you said afterwards.
That'd be great. But my supervisor...
That is tricky. But a minor like you requires the presence of a guardian, and you told me that she's kind to you. Well, she can come with you. We must abide by the law, after all. It might help to clear up misunderstandings if she's there.
A hug comes once again.
All right. I have to inform Heinrich that we have 2 more guests coming. Oh, shoot. I have an appointment today. I almost forgot the time. I have to go. I know what you're going to ask, but patient information is confidential.
Kakania idly wags her finger. Her thoughts seem to have drifted onto future treatments. She hastily cups her pen, handing the invitation to Marcus.
I shouldn't keep you any longer. See you soon, Miss Foundation. Welcome to the Circle.
A gentle knock sounds on the door.
Oh, I should go. Thank you, Miss Kakania.
She turns and hurries away, the door opening just in time. Oh, I thought it was Hoffman. Marcus doesn't stop, nodding and gliding around the newcomer in a fast, fluid motion. A crumpled note is attached to the door, its edges torn and folded, emphasizing the messenger's urgent need to communicate. Remove note. We have a friendly exchange here. Listen, I've had enough of you playing with the mirrors, you damn noisy green bird. Stop bringing in any old quack peddler or foreigner off the street, and those horrible, unbearable noises. The mirrors that could practically blind someone. I'm not a fool, you darn green parrot. If you're going to call it a wand, it should look like a stick, not a mirror. I really don't want to see those damn blue striped pants anymore. Those damn mirrors. If you don't learn to behave yourself and control your patience, you'll be getting a lot more from me than just a piece of paper next time. Now go back to your nouveau riche cliques and stop causing trouble here. Part 10. The Mind's Endoscope. Glimpses of the Heart. Two invitations, from a founder of a circle, no less. A precious opportunity, a rare and precious clue on the going-ons here. Hoffman caresses the edges, sinking to a long silence. The obedient assistant looks off into the far distance, awaiting the impending storm.
You know what happened. But under the Foundation's regulations, I must reiterate that the primary subject of this investigation has been changed to Heinrich. These two invitations are very useful. I'll tell the field agent squad to act tomorrow night. Once Heinrich's identity is verified, we will detain him in the exhibit. But I must remind you, Marcus, what you did today was a serious violation of the field mission manual, and I have to report this to the headquarters.
She didn't really give any information, though. Any private information. But yeah, I do get which part exactly from those rules they they were talking about in the beginning of the chapter she's talking about.
The island is not of this era. Everything about it is strictly confidential. You have crossed a line.
The mentor's tone was of a stern reproach, not so inconsequential anymore.
Understood.
Oh. Marcus's complexion turns deathly pale. Her mouth hangs open to speak several times, but fails to make a sound. If not for the wall, she might well have fallen over.
I know what you're thinking. We need to get closer to this group. You might think their ideas are closer to those of the headquarters, and therefore easier to work with compared to the Vienna branch.
Huh?
Marcus finds herself surprised by her stay of execution.
You must know that kakania is not our only source of information.
Hoffman turns away, intentionally avoiding the overeager eyes of her apprentice.
On the one hand, Carl has given us a list. In principle, everyone on this list is useful. On the other hand, the branch has its own connections too. More importantly, it takes more than a conversation over tea to get the people on the same side of a conflict.
The experienced investigator sighs, rubbing her forehead.
I'm worried you are not ready for this, Marcus.
But she brought you back very valuable information. I mean, sure, yeah, she broke a couple of rules to do it, but, I mean, come on.
There's too much wickedness out there dressed in the skin of kindness. The most horrible atrocities are always committed for the most seemingly justified reasons.
She's not wrong, though, yeah.
Even at the headquarters. People are mired in power struggles and compromises.
Too thick.
Sorry, ma'am. I was naive.
I mean, to be fair, it's her first mission, alright? And like I said way earlier when the duel took place, I wouldn't have left her alone in such a dangerous situation and leave as her mentor. Alright, so I think that we should put some blame on Hoffman as well for all these reasons. She had to be with her through the whole mission and then expect things from her from the next mission onwards. Alright? And if she was to leave her at some place to be somewhere safe, this was a duel, okay? So yeah, call me biased, call me Marcus favorer, I don't care. I think Hoffman has a big blame on this as well.
It will be the Foundation's judgment call. If the information you've gathered outweighs the risks, you may be treated leniently.
You mean leniently? Oh my goodness. They're so pretentious as if, like, okay, look, they're training kids from a young age to become arcanists. They give them difficult missions to fulfill, so you cannot expect that a child will do it from day one. Alright? Just because you educated her and trained her to be ready for this. The first time you need to be guided. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You present the kids with theories, not experience. The experience comes when they go out in the world and do missions and they have to do these things with adults. Alright? So, please let me be. Treat her leniently. Of course you have to treat her leniently because at the very least it was Hoffman's fault as well. I'm sorry.
Marcus, look at the street.
The ring road has a feeling of tranquility despite the evening bustle.
You're not the only one who wants to contribute to this place and its people. We come for peace, and many before us have tried to prevent foreseeable tragedies, only to cause greater tragedies. The rules are there for a reason. Nothing in the manual was written out of imagination. Every one of them came from a mistake of the past. We are only here to observe.
Many well-dressed citizens pass by, enjoying their sunset strolls.
This is Vienna in 1914, the birthplace of an enduring war and chaos, the critical point. It is a powder keg, and the slightest spark will set it off. Any action we take could have unfathomable consequences. That is why we advise extreme caution. This is our responsibility to this era.
Marcus follows her mentor's hand, gazing into the distance. For the first time, she scrutinizes the city ahead of her in detail. Here, countless lives, possibilities, and thoughts new and old collide. Would all this end in an instant beneath a curtain of rain? Marcus nods, searching out a word of affirmation.
I understand completely, Madam Hoffman. I won't make the same mistake again.
Away from the ring road, Aves continue on their life's trajectory. In Kakania's clinic, a slightly unorthodox treatment is about to begin.
Isolde, you look sad and pale. What happened? Did something happen in the troop? Or did those dreadful officials come back?
No, I'm just a bit worried. You entered a duel for my sake. Dear Lord, the thought of you getting hurt breaks my heart.
Did Heinrich tell you that? He needs to keep his mouth shut. Don't worry about me, Isolde. I fought for the ethics of the profession, and I'm ready to bear the consequences of my actions. That scum sold the secrets of hypnosis to the military. It's a treatment, not a means of interrogation. In the end, all is well. The duel didn't happen, and I'm here, unharmed. All thanks to that young missy from the Foundation.
That young missy from the Foundation? The lady who just left? I bumped into her at the door.
So you've seen her?
She was at the cessation building. You weren't there. Did she give you any trouble? You told me the Foundation was after you for a while because you didn't have a license. I can help you, Doctor. I can ask Mr. Carl to...
No need for that. We only just became friends.
Friends? You told me to stay away from the Foundation's staff, but now you're making friends with them.
Oh, she's different, dear Isolde. We met by chance. I gave her an invitation to the exhibit, so you'll see her there. I think you two will become best friends. It would take all day to tell you everything. You're here for treatment. Let's not waste time on unimportant things.
Unimportant? All right.
Kakania coughs, trying to revert to her more professional guise.
You're a personal friend, Isolde, so I didn't want to give you therapy in the first place.
Because I'm not good enough, or sick enough to be your patient?
Girl, she just told you because you're a friend she didn't want to do it. Where did the rest come from?
No, because I'm not good enough. I wasn't properly trained. I don't have a medical license or a degree. This is the cold, hard truth, and you're too important a friend to me.
She's trying to protect her, is what she's basically saying.
But I can no longer watch you suffer from the horrible treatments those quacks gave you. I may not have a license, but I have the knowledge and ethics that they don't. I never overcharge my treatment, nor sell unnecessary things to the patient, and I will never experiment on my patients. Your smile. So you agree with what I said about those psychiatrists and doctors? Okay, then let's get to it.
Kakania spins her pen in an excited twirl, flipping open her
Dr.
treatment
Freud
book.
wrote that repression of desires is one of the primary causes of hysteria. You need to release these desires. I'll guide your memory to find the deeply hidden thoughts. Trust me, and tell me everything during the session. You'll suffer less from the repression, and your physical ailments, fainting and convulsions, will become less severe. Cast off your shackles and trust in me. This first step is crucial. I know tragedies in your family have affected you deeply, but I'm here to help you now. If you have trouble putting thoughts into words, use this mirror. It reflects your inner thoughts, like a mind's endoscope. I cast an arcane skill on it to help your thoughts surface.
What worries me is that maybe she'll see something that will scare her and pull back or something, or trigger her. Because her memories, I'm guessing, are very tragic, so seeing them again might trigger her. I don't know.
Look at it, and tell me what you see.
My inner thoughts.
Yes, I won't hypnotize you. Nor will I turn around and peek at the mirror. What's in there belongs to only you. We're just going to talk. Hypnosis is a therapy I most detest. It doesn't help you understand and rediscover yourself. And if the dialogue isn't based on the full awareness and consent of both parties, it's pointless.
I see. I will do my best.
Do your best? Relax. You're not on the job. Just turn around. Look in the mirror and tell me, what do you see?
I see golden circles. Theophil in his study, on his feet. His hand gesturing intensely in the air.
Yes. I am there too. I'm...
Her voice becomes strange and sharp.
Odd. Why am I not here? Doctor? Is your mirror not working? It's not showing my reflection. No, this isn't right. I promise to do my best.
Yeah, like I said, it's causing her to panic. Not good.
I was there. I must have been. I have to remember it. You prepared all of this for my sake. I mustn't disappoint you. Oh no, she's stuck in her obsessive thoughts. Isolde, please sit down and listen to my voice.
Okay, she can hear her. That's a good thing. The actress, ignoring her doctor's warnings, forcefully grips the edge of the mirror. No, calm down.
Who am I? Where am I? Hello? Is anybody there? Who is me? I'm who? Greetings. Hello?
Also, when she's getting in her thoughts, she cannot hear anybody else. There's only chaos. The candles go out and the room fills with an inexplicable breeze. An incomparable voice responds to her inquiry, invited in from the void.
The lost ghosts. The last time in the secession building. Now I understand. I have to get her to stop relying so much on her arcane power. Luckily, not completing my education is why I know a little bit of everything.
The doctor rushes to the full-sized mirror in the workshop, removing the grey cloths one by one.
What are you doing, Doctor? Is the session over? Was it because I did something wrong? Did I mess up? Nonsense. You were doing great. I just have to clean the room a bit.
A more intense flash fills the clinic, dispelling the dumb and resentful darkness.
Shoo! Go away! Mirrors are useless to ghosts. Leave my patient alone and never come back.
Okay, so it appears that Isolde's power is the power of her generation indeed, and specifically calls spirits in. They said that her family was known to be able to communicate with spirits, right? So when she panics, perhaps without really wanting it, she calls in spirits, which come and fill the room. That's her power. So it's a good thing to know she's not able to manifest everything she sees into reality, because that would have been disastrous, especially when she's panicking. But apparently she doesn't control her ability to summon ghosts very well. So back to fighting ghosts I go, as I've become more of a ghostbuster in this patch, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, never mind, we're actually fighting Isolde as well. She's in a trance, so I'm guessing she will be attacking because she doesn't know what's going on.
These ghosts are confusing her. I have to calm her before she hurts herself. I'll take care of you, Miss Dittersdorf. Shh. Tell me, who is here?
I'll behave, Miss Kakania. Look at me, please. Who? She's a little girl.
The ghost?
Who are you? Why are you in my bed? Why'd you call my father, father? My mother, mother? And my brother, brother? Hello? I saw you beg and tremble. Father took you away, and the servant brought you back.
What?
I'm sorry. I sympathize. But please give me my life back. It's not as nice as you think.
They're only memories, Isolde. What happened next?
No! You died. And then I was here? Miss Kakania?
Tan, another ghost?
But the story was not over. It continued with our bloodline.
What?
The second child hogged all the attention.
Second child hogged all the attention.
A genius, but a mentally unstable one. I hope the bloodline doesn't end up killing her. She understood, then sat down. She got scared and began to cry. This is not a stage. It is all real. Amid the shaking and convulsions, the second child remembered that she was really the third child.
A seizure. A memory related to the electroshock therapy? At least my treatment's working. She's exploring her repressed memories.
No! No! I don't want to hear. Shush. Hear that? Someone's crying fire. Shh. What color should be used for a burning cage? Did you hear something crack, fall, and split apart? Snap, crackle. Pop. The fire is yelling. Something's burning in the fire.
They left. It's okay, I'm here. You'll be alright.
Let's call it a day. I need a deep cleaning.
Okay, so after this, unless they give me an explanation different to what I just witnessed, I'm guessing that either Isolde is haunted by 2 kids in her family that died, and now she's also haunted by her brother, because the last ghost mentioned fire, or Isolde, because Kakania mentioned, a memory from the electric shock she had, the electric shock treatment, that perhaps Isolde is the only child in the family and she has multiple personality disorder. These are my 2 theories so far. Let's see what the truth is. It could be none of these, it could be one of these, who knows. Part 11, one-act play. 2 pairs of eyes locked upon the self-same stall.
Feeling better now? Is anything still haunting you? Talking to you? Do you remember who you are, Isolde?
The clinic returns to silence as Kakania holds Isolde's hand, observing with concern the pale actress before her. She looks toward the tabletop mirror, allowing tears to fall from her hollow eyes.
Oh, yes, Doctor. I see it now. That fire. The fire that devoured everything. How could I ever forget? The raging fire consumed everything, including Theophil. He was screaming. His mind was already gone before he ignited it all.
Okay, so Theophil indeed started the fire.
How could you ignore everything with such disregard? Who allowed him to forget with such disregard? Well, I remember it all. I am from a noble family. I need to be a qualified Ditterstorf, an outstanding arcanist, a first-rate opera singer, a good sister, and a good daughter. Never forget my manners, never forget the family. But he got away with it. If Theophil was truly a man of courage, he should have joined the army, or fought a duel with someone. That would have made his death more honorable. Yet he chose to die this way, after a life of debauchery.
She breathes a heavy and bitter sigh, and finally color returns to her face.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told you that.
Why? I mean, let me tell you something. The rules of her family are ingrained in her head, but I guess as much as she loved her brother, she hated how harsh her upbringing as a lady was, whereas he didn't have to go through as much. There was also this bitterness as, why do you get to live a life you want, and I am supposed to grow up with all these rules, all these manners, all this suffocating that her family did to her, you know?
It's okay, Isolde. You're doing it right. That's what therapy is for. These memories are exactly what we need. What's been deliberately repressed and ignored in the depths of your heart will manifest into words and help you reconnect with your emotions. Soon your symptoms of hysteria will diminish.
By the way, I also agree with that. I mean, it's a psychological fact. It's not just in the game. But if you have some feelings, it's good to put them out. Maybe if they're harmful, maybe not to the person, because you might traumatize them as well. Like, for example, in this case, if she's indeed bitter against her brother because of that, obviously she shouldn't go to him and be like, oh, you have everything. Oh, nobody ever tells you shit about what you do, yet I get all the blame, I get all the suffering, etc. But perhaps it'd be nice if she just write it on a piece of paper and then burn it, or share it with a friend, if she had any, because I don't know how her life was before meeting Kakania, before her brother's death. I don't know any of that. But it's good not to have repressed emotions, because this at some point will have a big outburst, and that outburst can either harm ourselves by, you know, driving us mad in a way, like maybe throwing us into despair. Like, holding your feelings inside will only grow bigger and bigger and just devour your mind. It's not benefiting you in any way. There are healthy ways to burst our emotions, or it can burst towards other people if we keep it repressed. I mean, for example, this shows a lot with repressed anger. At some point, maybe you will attack somebody. In my opinion, people should find healthy ways to take these feelings out in order to keep both ourselves and others around us safe from all this outrage that will come out at some point if we just keep repressing.
Don't be afraid. You can talk to me about anything. In the name of my family and the Hippocratic Oath, I will keep things between you and me. Everything will be a secret. Our secret. Our secret.
Man, she needs somebody to trust so bad. The woman's cheeks, still wet with tears, reveal a tragic smile, like dew on rose petals.
Klingt wunderbar.
She closes her eyes, striving in that moment to open them without being free from the fog of the past.
Ich erinnere mich an dieses Zimmer. Das Zimmer war übermäßig hell. Ich konnte mich nie an Glühbirnen gewöhnen und bevorzugte das sanftere Licht von Kerzen. Meine Mutter hatte immer eine weiße Kerze brennen, wenn sie mich beim Zubettgehen sah.
Was ist mit dieser Kerze passiert?
Jemand hat sie umgeworfen. Das freche Balg. Mein dunkelhaariger Bruder. Er zündete die Kerze an, setzte das Zimmer in Brand und er rannte zu mir. Sein Körper brannte. In seiner Hand war eine Waffe. Ich sagte Theophil einmal, er sei kein Genie wie Weininger. Sich eine Kugel zu geben, werde ihn nicht berühmt machen. Nur ein Debüt hinterlässt Eindruck. Die folgenden Shows sind langweilige Wiederholungen. Er lachte. In der Tat, zu viele haben sich für Ruhm erschossen. Nur durch leidenschaftliches Feuer würde die Welt sich an mich erinnern. Ich verabschiedete mich von ihm und ging nach unten, um mit den Damen zu sprechen. Blut durchtränkte den Holzboden und tropfte in meinen Becher. Tropf, Tropf, Tropf. Ich ging nach oben und fand Theophil in einer Blutlache liegen. Ein Revolver lag in seiner Hand. Wie sein Zylinder wie Musik klickte. Ich hob mein Kleid an, damit das Feuer wie Wasser herabbrüllen konnte. Ich lehnte mich über das Loch an seiner linken Schläfe und sagte: Theophil, wo ist dein Feuer? Theophil setzte sich auf und sagte: Isolde, wo ist deine Waffe?
Ihre Waffe?
Meine Waffe?
Her voice trailed out into a low, sinister growl. Isolde swoons towards her reflection in the mirror, her hand raised high as if delivering a monologue on stage.
Meine Waffe! Ich erinnere mich jetzt. Ich hielt die Waffe die ganze Zeit. Theophil stand im Arbeitszimmer. Die Flammen umhüllten den Balken, die Decke, alles.
Was?
Kakania speaks as softly as possible despite her shock, with the intent not to disturb the woman's soliloquy.
Er rannte auf mich zu, schreiend vor Schmerzen. Er brannte. Die Hitze trocknete mir die Augen aus.
The woman begins to shake under the weight of revelation.
Stand in Flammen und rannte auf mich zu. Doktor, rannte auf mich zu.
She clenches her teeth, trying to squeeze out words, gripping her chest as if to squeeze out her insides, to open herself like a finely crafted wooden box, offering herself to her rescuer.
Tief einatmen. Ganz langsam ausatmen. Es ist alles in Ordnung, Isolde. Ich bin hier bei Ihnen. Sie sind sicher.
Kakania extends her arms, gently encircling the woman into her embrace. She breathes deeply, calming down inside the green warmth.
Und dann hörte ich einen Schuss.
The embrace tightens slightly.
Ich kann mich nicht erinnern. Der Abzug war schwer zu ziehen. Nach dem Schuss ist es mir aus der Hand gerutscht.
She lifts her head up towards the good doctor, tears flowing from her eyes.
Ich habe Tefel getötet. Es war ich. Ich verdiene es nicht, das Recht zu haben, an seiner Beerdigung teilzunehmen oder seine Gedenkausstellungen zu veranstalten. Ich verdiene keine Sympathie und Freundlichkeit. Ich hätte in dem Feuer verbrennen sollen. Ich hätte sterben sollen. Alles ist gut. Ich bin weder Richter noch Polizist, Isolde. Ich bin einfach nur Ihr Arzt. Ich werde Ihnen treu bleiben, egal was Sie denken, wer Sie sind. Ihr Leben war in Gefahr. Jeder hätte dasselbe getan. Es war nicht Ihre Schuld, Isolde. Sie waren einfach verängstigt. Schämen Sie sich nicht für Ihr instinktives Verhalten. Seien Sie versichert, Ihr Geheimnis ist bei mir sicher. Nach Dr. Freud ist das Akzeptieren Ihrer Dunkelheit der erste Schritt zur Befreiung. Es erfordert Mut und ist nicht einfach zu tun. Die meisten Menschen schaffen es nicht. Aber Sie haben das sehr gut gemacht. Habe ich eine gute Arbeit geleistet? Ja, eine ausgezeichnete Arbeit. Doktor!
Her tears now are like a broken dam, relieved of the burden that it had too long held. Kakania holds her gently, waiting for her long overdue catharsis to come to an end.
All right, this is as far as I can walk you. You have to host a ceremony tomorrow, and Tosca's next week. Vienna won't forgive me if I take up too much of your time.
Don't worry about it. Like you said, the night breeze will do me some good.
She still cleaves hard at Kakania's arm, imperceptibly shaking her head. As twilight falls, a few passerby notice the distinguished opera singer among them.
I heard from Heinrich that you're trying new things. I read his stage design. The style of Berlin expressionism he adopted is quite refreshing. I have to admit, he became a little strange after his trip to Berlin. But his passion for art didn't change, nor did his love for his fellow Viennese.
I appreciate his hard work as well. But sadly, the Vienna Court Opera didn't approve our performance application. So we turned to the Wiener Volksoper.
Well, I'm not surprised. Understand that Mr. Mahler is the artistic director of the Vienna Court Opera, and even he could not bring Salome to the stage. Those boring, stale old-timers will never approve of new forms of art. They always expect something predictable and unvarying. The same old pieces and settings.
Her complexion darkens again as she turns her head.
I'm the reason Tosca can't get the permission.
Why?
Because I, the star, am a medium. A maniacal arcanist.
Oh no, that's not it. In Vienna, the great composers, conductors, and performers, almost all of them have been arcanists. Wiping out the unique talents of arcanists and their artistic contributions would be like setting fire to the cultural tapestry of Viennese society.
Oh, sorry, a flood. A flood is better.
The actresses or at least acts oblivious to this minor slip.
They consider it a desecration of the stage. When a singer is channeling, she's essentially asking a spirit to possess her and speak directly through her. Thus, she becomes the character in the opera.
Low-key, that's something really cool to take as an inspiration for writing. This idea. Nowadays, people don't necessarily use it, I think. I've heard this theory before, that when you're on stage, whether you're an opera singer or an actor, you're expected to turn into the other character completely, stripping yourself from your own personality and taking somebody else's personality. And usually that's how it looks like when you meet a method actor, I'm guessing, because they really make sure that they make their entire life the character for some days in order to fully get into this idea, to get away from their own problems and focus on the problems of the character, become the character anyway. But yeah, nobody has, I think, if there is such a movie or something like that, a book, please leave it in the comments. But I don't think anyone has ever taken this idea literally and written a piece of work where actors of any sort get possessed by spirits and characters. And yeah, there is a movie that comes to mind, but it wasn't only for actors. It was, I believe it was horror, yeah, horror dark fantasy. And there was this either orphanage or school, I don't remember. Perhaps it was a school for arts of some sort. And every child had their own art form that they became more and more obsessed with the longer they stayed in that place. And then it turns out it has something to do with what this idea is talking about. I won't give any more details because some of you might want to give it a try. I'll leave the title on the screen. It's the only movie I can think of that kind of worked with this theme, but with a little spin to it because it wasn't exactly this. But yeah, I think it's a really cool idea that should be used more often.